Kibugabane Academy, 78th class. Student register. Makuro Ikubasa? That looks to be Makuro Ikusaba's student profile. So it does. I'm guessing Kirigiri stole this along with the key when she snuck into the headmaster's office. Fine, I'll tell you. So this trip isn't a total waste. A key and a blankety blank blank. There, happy? The blankety blank blank Monokuma mentioned has to be this. This is what Kirigiri left behind, so her death wouldn't be in vain. This isn't the time to get emotional. Hurry up and read it. Alright. I collected myself and looked back down at Makuro's, Ikusaba's profile. Name, Makuro Ikusaba. Female. Super duper high school level. Mercenary. Oh, that one's going up for the theories. Makuro Ikusaba's slender build belies her as a combat specialist, highly skilled in a wide range of weaponry, fostering an intense interest in military from a young age. It eventually became her whole world. While in elementary, Makuro Ikusaba took the championship in an international airsoft tournament, gaining recognition and making her the subject of the articles in numerous modern military publications. However, just before she entered middle school, Makuro Ikusaba went missing during a family trip to Europe. The investigation in her disappearance, which was being treated as kidnapping, made little less progress and drew considerable media attention. In the end, she was never found. 3 years later, however, Makuro Ikusaba suddenly returned to Japan alone. She confessed to have spent the previous 3 years enlisted as a member of the Fenrir Mercenary Corps. She said she had not been kidnapped, but she left on her own volition to be trained as a mercenary. Despite that, it still remains unclear as why she suddenly decided to return to Japan. Okay, well. The plot thickens. And this will lead up to my theory. Oh man. Things are not going Millhouse. Things are going quite fine. Mercenaries this, warfare that. It's like she's from another dimension, and not just the world she lives in, or how she was raised. But it's more like fiction and non-fiction. There's no point in even trying to compare them. That's how far apart our dimensions are. That was the impression I had as an ordinary, everyday citizen, but I never thought I'd hear the name Fenrir in a place like this. Huh? You've heard of them? In Kingdom Hearts. The Fenrir Mercenary Corps is a deranged organization of warriors for hire. Although they do offer some rather useful services, it wouldn't hurt for you to remember their name. No, I think I'm good. This is obviously way out of my league. However, there is something that's bugging me. I recall hearing rumors that Fenrir had already. I spy with my little eye a sub-character S protagonist and a protagonist S sub-character. Monokuma? Well, now, what do you guys have there? Aye. You saw the profile. And what are you going to do about it? No need to act like you've got snake in your boots. I don't have any intention of condemning you guys. Nor am I going to get all over cowardly Kirigiri's case for stealing it either. To be honest, thievery isn't against the rules. But I can't forgive Ogami, who broke the rules by destroying the headmaster's office lock. Maybe I should drag her body, hack it, and eat it. Bears are omnivores, after all. You must be pretty particular about the rules if you consider a violation unforgivable. You got that right! The school rules are the grease that keeps the academy running smoothly. So, as the headmaster, it's my obligation to uphold the rules. You uphold the rules, huh? Does that mean the rules apply to you too? Yes, sir! I don't want to deal with you guys getting your panties all in a bunch about things being unfair. And while we're talking about particulars, I got some juicy information for you guys. Information? It's about who the rules apply to. To put it another way, it's about the participants in this academic coliseum. Up until now, I don't think I've told you exactly how many participants there are. So, I think it's about time I cleared things. When you guys gathered in the entrance hall, there were only 15 of you, right? So I'm guessing that caused a big misunderstanding for you guys. By misunderstanding, do you mean... Yep, there aren't 15, but a total of 16 students participating in the academic coliseum. 16 then. Makuro Ikusaba. The 16th student hidden in this academy. The girl referred to as the super duper high school level Despair. Beware of Makuro Ikusaba. The 16th student, Makuro Ikusaba, is also a participant, which means the rules apply to her. Why? Yes? Did you say something? Why would you go out of your way to tell us that, specifically? Well, you see, as I said before, the Academic Coliseum is being broadcast live to despairingly rave reviews. It's necessary to be completely transparent about the rules. I mean, it'd be a big pain if I had to deal with a storm of complaints and hate mail later, wouldn't I? So that's why I told ya. Well, that's all the hints you'll get from me. Well, remember what Monokuma says. Right here. We're gonna go, whoops, wrong one. We're going right here. It's about who the rules apply to. To put it another way, it's about the participants in this academic coliseum. You uphold the rules, huh? Does that mean the rules apply to you too? Yes, sir! I don't want to deal with you guys getting your panties all in a bunch about things being unfair. So this is leading up to my theory on who this possibly is. And I'm certain that it is a student here in this academy. Now, all we have to do is see who's still alive, whether if it's Kirigiri or Makuro. I don't... if it's... let me see if it's been updated yet. Nope, not yet. If it's... I don't remember her name exactly. Makuro Ikusaba. So yeah. Thanks for the hints. But as retribution, I will tell you one other thing. Retribution? Tit for tat. Cowardly Kirigiri's tit for a Monokuma tat. Makuro Ikusaba's profile for Kirigiri's profile. Kirigiri's profile? You know how she wears those obnoxious gloves day in and day out? Just between you and me, she wears them to hide markings on both of her hands that she doesn't want people to see. What? Boop boop boop. That's all you're getting from me. See you guys again at the class trial. Okay. Either her arms are messed up from an accident from previous, or it's about the tattoo that we saw earlier. I'm pretty concerned why it would be both hands, right? If she puts gloves on to cover up just marking. So I'm guessing it's more than just that. So I have no doubt in my mind that the corpse we see before us earlier is not Kirigiri's. Let's go. Marking on both of her hands that Kirigiri doesn't want people to see. Could he possibly be talking about? that tattoo? But wait, Monokuma said it was something she didn't want people to see. In which case, she wears gloves to hide her hands. But if that's the case, what about those fake nails? Exactly! Are you thinking about Kirigiri again? Huh? Now is not the time for that. First, we need to carefully consider Monokuma's trap. Monokuma's trap? Your feeble-mindedness can only be punished from gods. Think carefully about what Monokuma just said. There are 16 students here in the academy. In other words, Makuro Ikusaba counts as a student. To make it easier for you, Monokuma is trying to say school rules apply to Makuro Ikusaba. The question is, why would Monokuma come out and say it at this particular time? He said it was so there would be no complaints afterwards about the rules not being clear. Turning that around, it means that Makuro Ikusaba is connected to this case. And because of that, the interest of fairness, Monokuma revealed the existence of the 16th student in advance of the class trial. Makuro Ikusaba is involved in this case? It's possible. Makuro Ikusaba is the culprit in Kyoko Kirigiri's murder. What? If you assume Makuro Ikusaba is the culprit, it makes sense that the class trial would be held, because that means the murder was, without question, committed among the students. The culprit is Makuro Ikusaba? She killed Kirigiri? Of course, anyone with a brain could figure that much out. In fact, that's what I believe to be the case when Monokuma announced the trial. But what Monokuma just said made me change my mind. Makuro Ikusaba is not the culprit. Oh my god, is Togami thinking what I'm thinking? Huh? Why not? Makuro Ikusaba, the super duper high school level despair, is possibly the Puppet Master's true identity. Given that, doesn't it strike you as odd? Why would the Puppet Master go out of her way to reveal information, disadvantages to her? Now that you mention it, that makes sense. On the other hand, her saying things to intentionally make Makuro Ikusaba look suspicious means exactly the opposite. That means she is not the culprit. Which is why you said it was a trap. A trap designated to make us draw an incorrect conclusion. That's one possible interpretation. The more I think about it, the more likely it seems, but then, if the 16th student, Makuro Ikusaba, isn't the culprit, who is? Oh no. If Kirigiri's alive, most likely... Or the actual Puppet Master, who is also a member of the 16 students, had offed her instead. But we'll see. It would seem as though we've completed our business in this room. Let's get going to our next location. The dojo, right. We need to figure out what the wooden key opens. Let's go. Here we are. It lets me open it. There we go. A row of wooden lockers is lined against the wall. The keys, here, are like what you find in a public bath. So the key we found in Kirigiri's room really did come from these lockers. Nagi, look at the locker on the right. It's the only one without a key in it. You know what that means, don't you? It means I need to put the key we found in Kirigiri's room into that slot. Get to it! Okay. I took the wooden plate out from my pocket and inserted it into the slot on the locker. Click. the key slid into the slot as though it were being sucked in, and then I popped the door open. These are arrows inside, around 10 in total maybe. They're dural lumen? They may be thin, but they are extremely sturdy. But without a bow, they're nothing but thin, sturdy rods. Thin, sturdy rods. Oh. Something pierced through the victim's back. It could be the knife that seeped straight through the person's body, but it may have not been. Aside from that, there's a ball of brown packing tape crumpled up at the bottom of the locker with what appears to be blood on it. The fact that there's blood means this is probably connected to the murder. I'm inclined to agree that it is connected, but as for how, I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm really concerned about this. Body wets, knife, the vinyl, sheets. This concerns me. I think it's about all there is of interest in the locker. What's wrong, Togami? Doesn't it strike you as odd? Something obviously connected to the murder was being stored in this locker. But why was the key to the locker in the victim's, Kirigiri's bathroom? Wait, what if... Togami? Never mind. Anyway, there's not much time. Let's move. Huh? Where? We have research to do. On Fenrir. You mean the mercenary group Makuro Ikusaba was in? But how are we going to do that? Where does one go to do research? Do I really need to spell this out for you? Well, we know where the archives. Oh yeah, that's right! There are even files on things that aren't public knowledge. We don't have much time until the class trial. Let's go! So he's thinking that Kirigiri might possibly be the murderer in this situation if Kirigiri isn't the, victim. The files on Fenrir were on this shelf, I think. Togami headed straight for the shelf at the back, as though he knew exactly what he was looking for. There it is, here. Then he returned to where I was standing, carrying a file, a single file. Hey, what's that? Oh. What's this? Oh, security camera. Okay. Togami, tell me the thing. Here, look. Look, but I can't read it. What language is it in? You're not saying you made it to high school without learning French, are you? Yeah, I can admit to that. I'm pretty sure the majority of the high school students can't read French, actually. You're hopeless. Fine, I'll read it for you. Just know that you'll be repaying this debt by 100-fold. 100-fold. Extortionate much? Fenrir is an organization of professional soldiers operating out of the Middle East. Unlike typical private military companies, PMCs, Fenrir is a brutally violent outfit specializing in direct combat. It is said that the single member of Fenrir has the military strength of 100 ordinary soldiers. Just like the legend of the wolf, Ragnarok, they inspire fear in everyone they meet in battle. While it's not public knowledge, they apparently took part in a great many battles and military operations. However, some time ago, they ceased all activity. It is presently unknown whether the organization even still exists. Some reports all suggest of the high-ranking members were murdered, but no one has been able to confirm it. Another rumor says Fenrir was exterminated to prevent them from leaking highly classified military secrets. And some believe they destroyed themselves in some sort of internal conflict. What? I feel like how should I put it? I'm gazing into another world, dot dot dot. We're all part of the same world. They just live next door. Besides, the battlefield and this academy. They aren't actually so different. Both worlds thrive on the unimaginable and the unpredictable. And that is why this place is so much fun. I couldn't disagree with you more, dot dot dot. Anyway, is there anything else you're curious about? This is your last chance to learn about Fenrir. Oh yeah, there was something, dot dot dot. There's one thing I wanted to know earlier. You mentioned the legend of Fenrir, right? Fenrir, the legend. Wolf of Ragnarok. Son of Loki in Norse mythology. While we're on the subject, I'll tell you one other thing. To show that they were members of Fenrir, every soldier was apparently required to inscribe their symbol of Fenrir somewhere on their body. Okay, things are now coming clear. Oh no, oh no, oh no! Please tell me Kirigiri didn't murder. What? The symbol representing Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. Wait, then, could that be... Yep. Ding dong, ding dong.
Timeはありとあらゆる生物、物質、現象に地味ですが確実な攻撃を浴びせ続けているのです。
Gradual as it may be, time constantly erodes away at every living thing, material, and phenomenon.
僕らは少しずつ
Little by
確
little,
実にダメージを負っている。
damage is being
このことを
conflicted
もっと自覚するべきなのです。
upon each of us, and we need to be more mindful of it.
というわけで時
So,
間ですよ。
to that end,
卓球裁判を始めます。
time's up. It's time for the class trial.
お前らはいつもの場所にさっさと集合してください。
Anyways, you guys, get your rears in gear and meet at the usual place.
うぷぷ
Oop boop boop.
また後でね。
See ya in a bit. It seems our time is up. Everything else we'll need to figure out during the class trial. Dot, dot, dot.
そうだ。
Indeed. Let's go. Alright. So this seems like a good time to end it. So, whether or not my suspicions are correct will remain unsolved until we are here. Whether if Ikasaba, Ikasaba is actually the one murdered, or the one that has been the murderer, and whether if Kirigiri is innocent or not. But whether if she shows up or not really depends on this class trial, or on her really. So when we come back, we will battle this battle and see how it, turns out. See you later. Peace.